Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So I am back with another video, and this time I'm going to really show you how some of these teachers can be. Now, it may be outside of work, but still, it kind of gives you a picture of how these people are really behind closed doors. And these are your instructors and people who are supposed to be helping children and helping children to become better leaders in our society. And yet you have people who are doing things like this. So this is first grade teacher under investigation for offensive and appalling blackface Halloween costume. And so I have to do the wording. But anyway, this is by Elise Soleil. I've seen a lot of articles that I've read by her that have been written by her. She's pretty good. So this is seems pretty harmless right here when you first see this portion of the article. And that's what you would want, want people to celebrate. And, it doesn't have to be scary. It can be harvest time, or, just sit down and relax and just watch the kids have fun or whatever. But no, it turns into something really negative for wearing blackface at a Halloween party. So a school district is investigating a first grade teacher who wore blackface at a Halloween party. So the photos of Megan Loloff, 32 years of age, a teacher at the Walcott Elementary School in Davenport, Iowa, wearing blackface while dressed as a character from the film Napoleon Dynamite, have been circulating on social media. And so the photos were taken at Friday's Booze Bash, a Halloween party held at the Walcott American Legion Hall. So a Superintendent Art Tate of Davenport Community Schools did not respond to the Yahoo Lifestyle request for comment. And a spokesperson for Walcott Elementary School directed Yahoo Lifestyle to statements published Wednesday in the Quad City Times. The wearing of the blackface is never appropriate in any circumstance by any person. So Tate told the news outlet in an email the issues under the investigation by the district. So here's the teacher here. You see her. It was posted on Twitter, and in the Root, it also came out that this first grade teacher at Walcott Elementary in Walcott, Iowa, reportedly showed up at a Halloween party for the grown and stupid wearing blackface. So think about it, grown and stupid. And now she's wearing blackface, and it's supposed to be funny. So anyway, it is not funny. And so school board vice president Linda Hayes also told the Quad City Times, "I cannot clearly articulate how offensive and appalling it is to people of color." And it surely is. And so these are the type of instructors that work at these schools. And sometimes they don't show themselves until they end up, at parties like this, or they're around other people who are white. They feel comfortable doing this type of stuff. And they feel like it's okay to do this. It's funny. It's just jokingly funny and hilarious, but it isn't. It's not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And to say that these people, maybe they didn't know that it was offensive, that's the excuse that someone else would give, that would try to sugarcoat the situation or smooth it over. And we know that that has happened in many instances when someone says something that's offensive, or they say something or do something that is offensive. Someone will try to smooth it over and say, oh, they didn't mean anything by it. Now, we could look at her and say, oh, it's just a costume party. They were having fun. Maybe she had a couple of drinks and she thought it was funny or whatever. And she decided to go all out and just do something that find this extremely offensive. And you know who? Black people that do not like being mocked and made fun of. If you learn the history of what this whole thing is, it is not funny. It's extremely offensive. And so, in light of our recent developments within the district, this is and was in very poor taste, not to mention totally out of line with regard to professionalism. So she not only went out of her way to do this, and you'd think she'd have sense enough not to post it all over social media, but she posted it all over social media at a time like this, thinking that, oh, it's not going to do anything. It's no harm done and nobody's going to say anything about it. And now it's circulated all over so much and been shared so much that it ended up in the news. And so it is very inappropriate. So we're working very hard with professionals from across the country within the state to assist with the problem of disproportionality, and one of our own is fueling the fire with blatant racism. All I can say is it is very sad and totally unacceptable. So the school board also sent a statement to the publication. The district was very at a non-school related event, and the insensitivity that these images depict, and something like this is to our school community. So the statement also reads that the district strives to provide a quality education environment for all. The images run counter to should not be a reflection on the district. The district will determine how to best address the matter after further investigation. So Yahoo Lifestyle could not reach out or could not reach the representative of the Iowa-Nebraska NAACP for comment. So the group president, Betty C. Andrews, told the Quad City Times, depictions like this deliver messages of fear and trauma, evoking images from another movie, the racially propagandized 1915 movie Birth of the Nation, in which Black people are criminalized, humiliated, and lynched. So the revelation for those who claim they don't know what blackface is, and most of them know what it is, or they wouldn't be doing it. And so that's why they do it, because they know what it is. And so they do it as a slap in the face. And that's basically where this whole thing comes from. And so it's to show Black people are criminalized, humiliated, and lynched. And so the revelation of the woman in blackface is a teacher who is expected to provide a safe and equitable classroom environment for all children is very disconcerting. So she added this, equally as upsetting, it is the people around her also seem to be celebrating her appearance. And so this is what I have seen and I have witnessed even here in California, where certain groups of teachers will get together and talk about teachers who are Hispanic or who are Black and poke jokes, make fun, talk about how people look and different things like this. And this is not a surprise to me. And so that's why I wanted you to know that racism is thriving in these school districts with certain individuals. There's bias, even though they claim they vet these teachers. There's certain things that can't be, vetted. People know how to lie if they want to get employed or they want to hold positions. And a lot of times these teachers are in lead teachers positions where she might have a black aide working up under her and giving her hell because she's black. Looks like up here, Blackface, parading around with her white friends. They're probably teaching. So when they get to their workplace and they're around coworkers who have not talk to them bad, force them to do stuff, well, if you don't do this, this is what could happen. Who knows what's going on at the workplace? It's probably hell working with these people. It is, and they're all in you say one thing to one person, you said it to all of them. And so that's how it usually goes with these individuals. They stick together and they keep a lot of drama going at the workplace. And so these are the Beckys and the people that keep a lot of drama going in the workplaces at these school districts. And they bring their hot button racism to the workplace and inflict it on all the coworkers. And don't be black working with them. And if you're under them, you're going to catch hell. You're going to catch hell working with these type of people. And so these type of people are in not just in Iowa. They're here all over. They're everywhere in some of these schools. And they just haven't caught them yet. See, they caught her doing something because she so bold with her and blatant with her expression of racism. She posted it on Facebook. They're not even scared anymore to do this. This is a free-for-all. This is funny to them. They're enjoying it, showing just how racist they are. And so these are ways of showing it. No, she's not shooting anybody in the head. She's not chaining anybody down. She's not locking anybody up. No, she's making fun of you. And so when you work with people like this, how do you think your life's going to be working with people like this? You probably won't hold the job very long, or you won't want to be in the room with her. Okay, that's a good example. I'm just letting you know. There are many of those kind of women or those kind of males that are teaching our kids right now, and they're giving the other co-workers hell. Good teachers, simply because they may not be white, but they could be really good teachers. They're catching hell because they're working with people like that. And so that is what is so sad. And that's why they can't keep teachers. So just look at how there's a shortage of teachers in the district, how it's a revolving door and they can't find anybody. And when they do find people, they don't treat them right. They don't pay them well. And then they never give them career advancement, no hope, no support. And then when you have teachers that are working there like this, what do you think the morale is going to be in the workplace? And the kids are subjected to it. They can feel that. They can feel the divisions in their school among staff. You don't think they can? They can. They just don't understand it, and they don't know how to express it. But they feel the divisions that are there, and discord in the schools because the teachers are not getting along. And so this is the kind of stuff that I've been talking about all along. But I'm going to go on. It says that it was upsetting to see her with all these people surrounding her and celebrating her appearance. They were celebrating her appearance. They weren't saying, oh, you shouldn't post that. Take that stuff off. That's offensive. Don't you think that's offensive? It looks like they're holding soda in their hands and coffee and who knows what else they've been drinking on. And then they're jumping around, probably have music on. And you know what would make it even worse? They probably have music on that isn't even music of their culture, I bet. and they think it's funny, so that enhances them making fun of the whole situation, making light of it, poking light of it. But anyway, so it says we're working very hard, and I'm going to go right back up here where it says they claim that they're working hard with professionals from across the country and within the state to assist with the problem of disproportionality. You hear that? Disproportionality. It's not just happening in Iowa. It's happening here in California. It's happening outside of California. As we see, Iowa. It's happening in Chicago, where they're hiring murderers to be your kid's teacher. And for one of our own is fueling the fire with blatant racism. She's not the only one that does this. She's not the only teacher that's doing this. She just is one that you caught. She's one of many that you caught. So all I can say is it is very sad and totally unacceptable, is what they say. So the school board also sent a statement to the publication that the district's very recently made aware of these images of the district employee at the non-school related event, and an internal investigation is currently ongoing, and the board does not condone the insensitivity of the images depicted, is very disappointed by something like this, and now it's connected to their school and their school community. So the statement also reads, the district strives to provide a quality education enriched by the diverse community in a fair and supportive environment for all. So the images run counter to the respect, values, beliefs of the district that they promote, and should not be a reflection of that district as a whole. So the situation is not taken very lightly at all. And so by any member of the board, and they are really seriously trying to investigate this whole thing. So the district will determine how to best address the matter after further investigation. And so Yahoo Lifestyle could not reach out to the representative. There's an NAACP in Iowa and Nebraska for the comment, and they couldn't find them to get an immediate response. So the group's president, Betty C. Andrews, told the Quad City Times depictions like this deliver messages of fear, trauma, evoking images after a movie racially propagandized 1915, Birth of a Nation, in which Black people are criminalized, humiliated, and lynched. So the revelation that the woman in blackface is a teacher who is expected to provide a safe, equitable classroom environment for all children is disconcerting. So she added, so equally upsetting is the people that are celebrating in her appearance all around her, and this is not the Iowa that should be a field of dreams for all of us, okay? So the Quad City Times reports that the Davenport School District is currently being examined for placing a disproportionate number of minority students in special education and imposing discipline. Bingo! Let me say that again. The Quad City Times reports that Davenport School District is currently being examined for placing a disproportionate number of minority students in special ed and imposing discipline. What did I tell you? So I'm not lying to you when I say I've seen this happen in California schools as well. I've seen it. Let me read that again to all of you people who doubt what I had been saying, and I'm warning you. These are warnings, and you need to look into it. If you got kids that are going to these schools, you need to find out who the teachers are and how many. Look at the numbers of teachers. What is reflective of the school? You know, what are they what holidays do they celebrate? Do they make mention of other cultures other than just one or two? Are they trying to embrace other people uniquely? Or is there divisions between staff? What are the staff looking like there? You know, start asking questions. Start trying to investigate what's going on. Why is it that all the Black kids are in special ed? Somebody's in trouble. People need to know this. They're putting Black kids in special ed and placing a disproportionate number of minorities in special ed and imposing discipline. I just had couple of articles that just came out about how some high schools were arresting more Black kids than anything. On Wednesday, NBC host Megyn Kelly created a wave or a firestorm of anger for questioning why Blackface is racist. But what is racist? She said on her air guest, okay? Because you do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface on Halloween, or a Black person who puts on whiteface for Halloween, okay? Back when I was a kid, this is Megyn Kelly, that was okay, as long as you were dressing up like a character. So sweeping outrage came across that whole statement, including the NBC News chief Andy Lack, led to Kelly apologizing in a statement, which she did on the air. So the same day, she mysteriously separated her talent agency, CAA, and her future NBC is reportedly bleak. Her future at NBC is reportedly bleak. So a lot of people were talking about that. So a principal who used the N-word, these are related stories, okay? A principal who used the N-word repeatedly says the slur was used in context during an anti-racism discussion. Okay, Dunkin' Donuts, these are related stories. Dunkin' Donuts apologizes for calling police on a customer after she spoke Somali. I know I did that one. Gas station Gale. We've seen that one. Store manager calls the police on parents, children buying drinks. It's like a riot out there. I did a story on that one. Didn't do the principal who used the N-word in the anti-racism thing. That's probably why I didn't do it, because he was trying to do something, but still. And so this is the apology that Megyn Kelly gave about saying, blasted when she was blasted for saying blackface was okay when she was a kid. And so Megyn Kelly has sparked a race controversy over the remarks that she made on Tuesday. So I don't think it's that long. I will do this video and then I will let this thing go. So just from this whole thing alone, there is 3,317 comments of feedback behind this whole blackface thing.
Wowza, I just got my dream home from Bow Wow Dog Houses. Their huge showroom is conveniently located in South Los Angeles. They've got a great selection of sizes and styles to choose from, or you can customize the perfect house for your food. Bow Wow Dog Houses are made in the USA with quality workmanship, using only environmentally safe, non-toxic materials. And the guys offer great customer service. Stop by today or shop at BowWowDogHouses.com. They put a wow in Bow Wow Dog Houses.
TV personality Megyn Kelly is finding herself under fire today, being slammed on social media for comments she made on the air in a discussion about Halloween costumes. Comments many say cross the line. A little fired up over Halloween costumes.
Megyn Kelly lands in hot water as she comes to the defense of people who dress up in blackface for Halloween.
Well, it is racist because so truly you do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface for Halloween, or a Black person who puts on whiteface for Halloween. Like back when I was a kid, that was okay as long as you were dressing up as like a character.
She went on to question why Real Housewives of New York star Luann de Lesseps got in trouble last Halloween when she dressed up as Diana Ross with a giant afro wig.
She made her skin look darker than it really is, and people said that was racist. I don't know how like that got racist on Halloween.
For the record, Luann apologized and claimed she wore bronzer that she normally wears and would never dream of doing the blackface. Social media is exploding in reaction to Kelly's remarks. Top Chef host Padma Lakshmi tweeted, "I cannot believe the ignorance on this in 2018. You are on national television. You have a responsibility to educate yourself on social issues," Megyn Kelly said. Comedian Patton Oswalt, "Dear Megyn Kelly, you and I are approximately the same age. Blackface was not okay when we were kids." Others fumed, "It's historically offensive. Anyone with a basic knowledge of history knows this." She's now reportedly apologizing in an internal memo. Kelly wrote that she's heard from colleagues and friends and realizes her comments were wrong, according to The Hollywood Reporter.
What is racist? Our calls to Megyn Kelly for comment went unanswered.
So now there you have it, and I just want to bring that to your attention. And so it has created a firestorm. And so now I want to say that Megyn Kelly is not the only one who has done this. You have a first grade teacher in schools, teachers who have racism. There are racist teachers teaching your kids. And I'm going to tell you something. It's not okay to compare children and their bodies to white people. I personally know someone who had an experience where a teacher compared bodies of black females to white females, children. And it was very inappropriate. But they didn't get fired. They didn't get fired because I feel the reason why they didn't get fired is because they have been there for years. They've been allowed to get away with things that they say and do to people. And a lot of it is because they have a privilege because they're white. And they've been given these jobs. They have retirement. They have benefits. They make pretty good pay. Some of them do if they've been there for a number of years. And so they don't want to take that privilege away from them. They don't write these teachers up. But when someone that is of color makes statements that are derogatory or that are not appropriate, that sound racial, they immediately will look into trying to get rid of those employees and either write them up, suspend them, or remove them. It's just like that incident that happened to the black woman on the airplane where the white guy, he was hurling insults at her. Ryanair. It was Ryanair airline, and he would call her all these names about her race and calling her, you know, some really horrible, nasty names. Instead of them telling the man to get up and leave or to move, he stays there and they make the black woman move. And she wasn't doing anything. She was an elderly lady and she had some health issues. And so it took her a while even to stand up, to leave. And so it was frustrating. And it has been frustrating. And it's hard for some people of color to make it in some of these professions and occupations because you have individuals that are working there like this and they hold you back from your dreams of ever being that person that you ever wanted to be. You can't laugh, you can't be happy. They don't like it when you laugh and you're happy. They want you to be miserable and mean and scream and holler at the kids all day like they do and yank and pull on them and scratch them. And then they make up stories and send the kids to the office and say it was an accident. And they're abusing kids. But if you say anything about it, you'll get fired. Or you'll get threatened that you're going to get subpoenaed in court. So you can't tell on the white teachers. And so the only thing left for the teachers of color to do is to quit the job or to move to another school, knowing that these kids are suffering unless someone speaks out on it, such as I am. And it's hard. It's hard when you're by yourself and nobody cares. Or people do care, but they're afraid to say anything. They're afraid they're going to lose their position. They're afraid of telling the truth. This is not a one-time incident, people. This is happening. It's happening in a lot of these schools. There are a lot of teachers, just like this lady here, just like this first grade teacher you see that's wearing the blackface, making fun of black people. This Megan Luloff. There are a lot of nightmares that are walking around in the daytime calling themselves teachers. And they look just like this woman right here. And people gotta be forced to work with them because they have no other way else to handle this. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard when you try to tell the truth, and you have to be cautious about who you tell the truth to, because you don't know if that person is also doing something that is not fair or that's unjust. Let me read this line to you again, because I want this to reach out to some people who don't think that this is true. It is true. And I've been saying this. And I'm not going to stop talking about it until people begin to realize it is a serious problem in our school system and all over. This incident here is not the only person that is flawed or has character flaws or has something wrong with them. If it's racial bias, if it's pedophilia, if it's a criminal history like the guy in Chicago where they had an English teacher and they hired him and he shot at a guy 7 times and they still hired him. People, the big issue with the kids here is that there are black children that are being placed in special ed with a quickness, and they fall through the cracks. And they're not given first priority on some of these issues. Like, you know, some of the other kids are given chances to, you know, have tutoring or to have some alternative therapist. Some of these other kids, they just kind of place them in a room, and then they place them with behaviors that are way worse issues than that child is dealing with. And so what do kids do when they see other behavior? They learn it. And then now your kid is in the system, and that's the gateway for the prison to pipeline. And that's basically what it is. And so a lot of these kids end up, when there's no hope or they have no interest in learning because nobody's caring enough. Because you got teachers like this that feel it's funny to make fun of blacks and put all the black kids in special ed if they have a problem or if they don't want to listen. You know, maybe they're not focused on the lesson that day. And so they view it as, oh, this kid never listens. And so they're always being put outside of the room. They're always being separated or ostracized from the other students or made an example of. And then they're being removed from these schools and put in harder schools where they're pretty much funneled into the system, and then they fall through the cracks. And then you're wondering where all the time went. And you're wondering, why is your kid in this situation that they're in? And so, like I said, this is a huge problem that is going on. A huge problem going on in the school districts where kids are being placed in special ed. And it's usually minority children. And I know I probably now Some have said, wow, you said too much. And too much of that can be dangerous, but it's true. So it says that school district is examined for placing, it's currently being examined for placing a disproportionate number of minority students in special education and imposing discipline. That's not the only school, people, that is doing this. They do it a lot. They do it a lot in California. A lot. And you wouldn't believe sometimes some of the things that I've personally know that is happening. Anyway, I know this seems really emotional, but I am emotional over this because it is so true. And I know what's going on there. It's not only going on there, it's going on in a lot of places. So anyway, I'm going to let this video go. And with that being said, we have serious issues in our school system that people are not addressing. There's so much corruption in the school systems you wouldn't believe. And we need to come out with those, just like we come out with all the other stuff. That would explain why some of the kids have dropped out of school or they have no interest in learning. I'm going to let this video go. Thanks for listening.